simply putting like machine learning, data science, and web development projects. But even cloud computing is very trending, and we will be helping you out to kickstart your journey in exploring the cloud computing, and we will be introducing you to the Azure platform, like because we have access for it to give vouchers to you people. So, and we will be giving you Azure voucher, right? Like you will be able to redeem it and use it for your projects. And also to learning to explore without putting any credit card, no credit card or anything is expected. Just that voucher will be redeemed. So coming to our program name, it's Weekend with Azure, and here we are like Aditya, me, Deepak, and we have one more student ambassador from Saptagiri College of Engineering who got recently selected and has also conducted few sessions across like in our college and other colleges also. So she is also enthusiastic in participating as a organizer to explain about the session. I mean, to explain the topics here. Coming to cloud. So I thought of welcoming everyone to cloud, but I stuck with an idea that's saying that we are all part of it, right? We are all already part of it. So in everyday, day-to-day cases, we are using so many tools and softwares which are already part of cloud, and we are working directly or indirectly on the cloud. Let's see what are those things. So the most famous are like we will be using Google Drive, we will be using a YouTube, we are using Gmail to send emails together, and I have mentioned GitHub also. Why I have mentioned GitHub is because you have put your project and working on GitHub, but still indirectly it is taking care in cloud itself. That's why. So what you will be doing usually in these tools, right? Like you will be storing the files and you don't care whether the file is stored in India or Bangalore or I mean or in other countries. Similarly, if you are streaming a YouTube video, it doesn't matter for you where does the video comes from or where it has been stored. And email, your target is to send the mail to the receiver, and you don't want to know like whether it will go via which protocol or which networking or how it reaches to them. You don't want to care about those things, right? So that's why like indirectly we are all using the cloud, and we will be helping you out understanding the cloud from scratch. It's fine if you don't know anything about cloud, we will be teaching from scratch, and we will be taking to intermediate level till tomorrow along with the hands-on projects. Just a second guys, just a second. Fine, let's start it there. Before explaining about cloud, right, I wanted to explain usually what is website we use daily purpose, right? Because this is the fundamental why the cloud come into existence. So we all know like client is nothing but we users, and server is where the website has been hosted. Like we will be accessible, right? If you do google.com and if you go to Gmail, Gmail has been application has been hosted somewhere in the around the world in one of the server, and in behind you will be having a storage. Suppose you send the mail, you receive the mail. So where does these things has been stored in the cloud along with server? Those will be stored in the storage. So you should understand very carefully that we are having a simple computer. We users are using it, and we will be accessing it with network like internet network we will be using, and it will be indirectly like website will be hosted on server, and behind they will be having storage. This is the most simplest form of a website. There are many stuff which should come, but we have reduced it to a more to layman's language. Okay, so this is a website during normal days. That means like now if you're using Gmail now, or if you're using a Flipkart account today, tomorrow it will be a normal. But when it comes to special days, example like Flipkart has big billion days, Amazon has their Indian festivals. So what happens at those times? The immediately the computers, the clients, like 100,000 times more people will jump into the website. They start accessing they start like searching, putting it to cart, ordering, and so much process will happen. So the website should be able to handle sudden so much increase, right? So that's why like if you have one server and thousands of people come at once at a time, the server cannot handle it. It will like it will go down. Okay, it will go down, and behind whatever the storage, everything will get crash. So this was the situation in the old days. Like suppose you have built a DBMS project, you will build using XAMPP server, and you will be building it in your local system, right? To showcase to your college purpose. And later you will start hosting it in the domain. You will use some domain. Behind what they will do, they will be putting this server and they will be giving you a storage. But if your website goes very famous, like suppose the famous companies, when the company grows very much, right? Many clients will be coming. At those times, they need more servers, more storage in terms of the website. What is happening there? The company, whichever company who are planning to increase their servers, right, to access to everyone, they have two options. One is vertical scaling, another is horizontal scaling. So here, what is vertical scaling is like, suppose in your laptop, server is nothing but think it as your laptop. Like your laptop has 4 GB RAM or 8 GB RAM, and you will be having some storage like hard disk, and you will be able to process. You can download some, install some software, you can play games, you can do anything. So everything has been configured inside the laptop. But similarly, these servers also, they have hosted website. And if the company want thinking of, okay, now you upgrading the server, like your laptop, you have 4 GB today, you think that I require 8 GB RAM. You will go to the customer store. They will remove that 4 GB and they will implement 8 GB RAM. And at a certain limit, every laptop like 16 GB will be the maximum limit for your laptop. And but you can't exceed more than that. And moreover, when you're increasing the RAM, right? Like 4 GB to 8 GB, 8 GB to 16 GB, you will be paying more cost. When it comes to the company wise, it will be more cost. Whereas when it comes to horizontal scaling, instead of upgrading the same server more and more, they will be expanding the number of servers. Like suppose today they had 4 GB RAM and one, one server. Tomorrow they will install one more 4 GB RAM server, and day after tomorrow they will install again as the customers or clients increases. So, and this horizontal scaling is compared to vertical scaling is very less cost, because vertical scaling is very costlier. So this was about handling why this was implemented in olden days. Okay, after normal local, you saw here, right? Normal website we create like this in our local system, and day by day when special days come, the problem exists. So the company thought of increasing the servers. They started increasing the servers or by horizontal scaling or vertical scaling. There comes the problem. As the company grows, they wanted to increase their storage, compute, networking, security. They should implement everything, and behind they should also store your data also, right? So similarly, in the problem started existing, like the cost of increasing the virtual servers increased. The space, like you want to set up the servers in some place, means you need a place for rent or something, you should buy them. You should have the data center will be having your security, every data, I mean server storage. So the space infrastructure maintenance, like you have to set up AC to cool the servers because of its heavy using, right? It will be getting heat up, and you should implement the ACs. There are many stuff, similar stuff, but you should take care of those things. Along with that, you should also have some manpower. Suppose suddenly your data center went down, suddenly some few servers went down. Your clients, that is users, doesn't need the reasons, they need availability. They should be able to access the website. Like you might be you will be willing to stream YouTube even midnight or afternoon whenever you want. If it get crashes like again and again, you don't like. So similarly, the companies doesn't want it to happen, and see, they keep the technicians to handle it, architects and more people to handle just for handling. So what happens? The cost will increase a lot. Maintenance tension. They can't concentrate on their product. Suppose Flipkart doesn't able to concentrate on how to reach more people, how to draw the people and get use of their website. Instead, they will be thinking how to manage servers, how to manage the people, what if the servers get down, storage gets down, how to make it pick up. They don't want to concentrate those things. They want to concentrate only on the how to get the customers. So that's the time when the cloud came into existence. So what was being like, as I said, if you have a local system, and in your local system you have there is also a server kind only. If you host a website from your laptop, it should be 24 hours on. to make availability for users, but it is not possible. So that's why they shifted to internet hosting. Internet hosting is like a third party guy will be there. He will be having the continuous servers, small servers. You will be paying him to host your website. That's the thing. But when it comes to big organizations, they just can't go for just only servers. There will be a lot of other tools and technology will be coming across, and therefore they went for cloud. So what happens in cloud? Cloud doesn't mean that they will be keeping in cloud. It's saying that people will be like there will be cloud providers like Amazon, Microsoft, Oracle. They have their own infrastructures, like they have big servers, everything being maintained by them along with the technicians. What they will be doing, they will be giving you as a rent. Like, do you want 4 GB RAM? And do you want storage of 100 GB, or do you want some security? Everything will be given to them that you can concentrate only on developing your website. Here I am mentioning again and again about website because I don't want to go more deep. It should be more familiar. So that's why we are keeping a idea of just hosting a website. Okay. So what happens? Suppose I'm a user. I will go for AWS people. I ask them via website, like I need 4 GB RAM of server, and I need Windows 10 version on it. I need 100 GB hard disk. I will be hosting my website there. And no matter if I like, if even if I come out of the website, AWS website, it should be running. It should be running every time. Suppose I want to add more security, I can go and add security. Suppose I want to increase the RAM, right? Just go, we should visit there and increase the RAM or increase the storage or increase some networking, more more networking security, but it should not impact my website. The website should be running like that only, and behind I will be working on. I don't care whether the website is hosted or the servers are present in America or India. I am only interested that my website is hosted and easily available to the users. This is the main goal of in common companies. So they will be reaching to the cloud people. So what this cloud people will be giving, they will be giving a pay as you go service. So what is the pay as you go service means? Like suppose you, as I said, you are using 4 GB RAM and 100 GB storage for your server in the AWS. So what I mean Azure. So what you will be doing, you will be paying them hourly basis or monthly basis, like as you need. Like suppose I will be running for 15-20 minutes. Okay, you pay only for 15-20 minutes of the resources. They will calculate the bill like that. They don't ask you to pay before itself, like upfront. They don't ask you to pay before and later you can use. No, like you use it first, then pay. So that is the one more advantage given in the cloud computing, which will help most of the startups. Nowadays, you can see most of the startups are going to the cloud directly. They don't want to keep data centers. They don't want to waste their money on those things. Instead, they will go to the cloud. They have everything accessible. They will use it and they will pay accordingly. They can even explore. They can try what all things they can improvise in their product. So there is nothing to care about manpower, infrastructure, and where the servers are present. Even in backup also, the Azure will also give 99% of guarantee of the backup. I mean, what is it? Like website will be always available if you have hosted the website. Every service of them are ranging from 95% to 99% guarantee to availability. Like suppose some natural calamities like happens like earthquake, tsunami, it doesn't matter. They will always be given you access. So your website will be safe. It will be hosted all the time. So this was how the cloud has been, we shifted from the local system to the towards the cloud. Even now, most of the large companies have their own data centers, but as the days goes on, the medium level and startups are moving towards cloud to save the money and time. Now, coming to types of cloud, Shruti, Shruti will take over it. She will explain what is cloud and what are the types of cloud present here. Shruti, are you there?
Yes, yes. Am I audible properly?
Yes, I will be sharing the same screen. You can go through them. You can explain. Or do you have any screen? I mean, do you have any slides or shall I show this only? Shruti, I'm not
No,
audible.
this is fine. Types of cloud.
Okay, so you will be doing here, right? Fine, go on.
Okay, so let us start first types of cloud. So here what is firstly we should know that why do we need to divide the clouds into types of clouds. Here what happens is uh, actually the division is based upon the two categories. First is deployment model and second is service model. So firstly we will look into the deployment model and second would be the service model. Let us start. In the deployment model, we have the four types. First is public cloud, then we have private cloud and hybrid and community cloud. So the major part are public and private, and hybrid and community are basically uh, similar to these with little bit different things. So if we understand public private properly, it will be easier for us to understand the hybrid and community. So let us begin. First, we will see public cloud definition. We will understand what is public, then private, then hybrid. And community is actually very simpler. So we will see that at last. We will focus majorly on the public, private, and hybrid. Okay. So first we will start with public cloud. Public cloud, here what happens, the cloud infrastructure, whichever is provided by the cloud providers, is made available to the everyone, to the general public over the internet, and it is owned by the cloud providers itself. So public cloud is basically cheaper when compared to the other clouds. And what happens in private cloud is it is similar, but there are very few difference like private cloud. So cloud infrastructure, whichever is provided, the resources, whichever is provided, it is only to a single customer, not to the general public or everyone. It is to single customer or one institution or a single organization, and it is not shared with others. Okay. And hybrid, what happens in hybrid is what we humans have done. Actually, these things were going very correct with the public and private cloud. There was no need of doing the other. But as we know, humans are very greedy animals. So what humans have done, they have extracted only the advantages of both clouds. So whatever the advantages we had in public, like it was cheaper, it supported multi-customer, like we could share the data to the many people at once. And in private, what we could do is it is most suited for the secured and confidential informations and core systems. So what people have done, they have extracted only the advantages of these both clouds and they have put in hybrid cloud. So hybrid cloud is nothing but the it uses both the public and the private clouds, and it is basically based upon the purpose and requirement. If you require that your app should work, few parts should be based on should be deployed on public cloud, so you can do that, and few parts would be deployed on the private cloud. Okay? So I think I have made myself clear in this point that what is the difference between public, private, and hybrid. So if I have to quickly say the differences between public and the private is public, here the infrastructures and the resources, virtual resources are shared publicly, and in private it is to the single organization or the institution. Then public, it supports multiple customers, and private, it is dedicated to a cluster of the customers. So it is not to the everyone, but to the few people or maybe one organization. Then public, public, the connection, whatever we have, it supports over the internet connectivity. But in private, what happens? Connectivity is over the internet or fiber or private networks. So this is why the private cloud are more costlier than public. Then public is actually not suited for confidential information, but private is suited for confidential and secured. It is more safer when compared to the public cloud. Okay. And if I have to give the major companies which provide this cloud for global, we have for public cloud we have Global Dots. It is one of the major company that offers worldwide public cloud services. And private, Dell. We all have heard the name Dell. So Dell is one of the companies that offer private cloud services. Okay. And when coming to the hybrid is company IBM. IBM is one of the companies that offer the hybrid cloud services for us. Okay. So till now we have seen what is public, what is private, and what is hybrid, right? So, but why should we do this? why should we make our life more difficult by learning the different types of cloud and these things? So actually, there were a few problems. For that, to resolve those problems, we came into the different things that we will use the cloud in. We will deploy it on public or maybe on private or hybrid. It is actually based upon the requirements. So problems what we had with previously, there was one problem that there was insufficient data storage and duplication and redundant data were present. So for that problem, we came up with the solution that we will use public cloud. In public cloud, what happens? We can expand the our storage, data storage. We can share and synchronize the data so that there is no redundant data and there is no duplication. This was the reason why we use public cloud, because the problem was of the insufficient data storage. And for private, why do we use private? Is because if we want to maybe if I want to deploy somewhere, so without using cloud, what happens is I need to give the specifications and configuration of the hardware before itself. So it is very difficult for some company if they give the specification configuration of the hardware and other things. So maybe network and all, like they will be using fiber, private network and internet, so it becomes very difficult and maybe in future they are not using it. So what happens in private is private cloud features hardware as per the requirement of the application. If my application requires this, then they'll use, otherwise they'll not use. It is not like if I need to take care of the future, if it is working or not working. So this is the major reason why we use private cloud, and hybrid, as I said, it takes the advantage of both. So hybrid cloud manages both the things. So we can there will be sufficiency of the data storage plus the hardware configuration and specification. We need not say it beforehand. Plus, what is plus point in the hybrid cloud is hybrid cloud manages traffic level during the peak usage period. Okay.
Well, Shruti, is that's all,
So
or is it signal cut?
okay. Hello.
You- Hello, was it like is that all, or you were saying something and signal were down?
No, I was saying
Okay, okay, continue.
like now am I audible properly?
Yes, go on.
Okay. So coming to the features, I'll say this quickly. So exposure to the public. Public means we know that it will be available to everyone. In private, it is to a specific organization can use the private cloud services. And when coming to hybrid, what happens is it is basically dependent upon our requirements. If we use it as public cloud, it is to everyone. And if it is private, only few people can access it. Coming to the second feature, that is data center in public cloud, it is over internet where the cloud service providers are available. So everything is by the cloud provider. So customer need not take care of the infrastructure, hardware, these things. So public cloud, it is basically used by the individual.
Shruti, we can't hear you.
The organization network. It is inside the organization network. Okay. Then coming to the companies which use the public cloud are Amazon Web Service, Microsoft Azure, Google, IBM's cloud. Okay. And private cloud companies which use the private cloud is VMware, Dell, Oracle, Cisco, and hybrid. It is Amazon, HP, Google, and Microsoft. We see that the companies which use the public cloud are also into the hybrid cloud because they actually use hybrid cloud, but they also deploy few things on the public so that they can reduce the cost. These are the actually main features. We just need to know the very basic glimpse of the cloud because these all are the theoretical aspects. And since we have got to know about the private cloud, we can quickly see what is community cloud. Cloud is very similar to the private cloud. What happens here is, so whatever the infrastructure which is there, It is actually shared among the several organizations of a single community. Okay, so actually community cloud, it is new compared to other cloud. Actually in 2013, Salesforce introduced this community cloud. And here the main aim was to create a platform for the customers, for the employees and the partners of that company. So major companies using the community cloud are NVIDIA, then HCSC, Seven Summits. These are the major companies which use community cloud. And advantages when the basic difference between private and community is private is only for the a single organization or institution, and community is for the two or three organizations which are under same community. So community cloud, the security level lies between the public and the private, and it is cost effective because it is shared among the few more companies when compared to private, but it is of the similar community. A few they share it among the same organization. So these were the types of cloud based upon the deployment model. Okay.
Well, well, Shruti, that was nice of you. Thanks a lot. Uh, what Shruti said, I would like to summarize what Shruti was explaining about the cloud types of cloud. I will take an example and explain you more detail. Like suppose think like you have a website. Okay, you have a normal website which doesn't have any, like you have just a few HTML page normal website, and you want to try it like whether it will be useful, reachable to the users. So what you will do, you don't have any security issues. You if you even if you're having simple security, like no one can hack a simple stuff to your website is enough. So what you will do, you will go to public cloud like Azure, AWS or Google Cloud Platform and other public clouds. So what you will do, you will go there, take some hardwares, like purchase some hardwares and host your website there and give it for trials like testing purpose or whatever it may be for the users. Okay, this was our public cloud. As some days goes on, suppose you feel that now uh, public cloud is not proper, like let's go to make some private cloud. So what you will do, you will be the big organizations like IBM or many other organizations, they have their own data centers. They don't want to host it in AWS because they will be having a lot of resources and data which are very confidential. So what they will do, they will create whole private cloud, like they will be having own data centers, they will be having their own technicians, everything will be set up by them, everything will be maintained by them because they have so much data that they believe that private cloud having their own security connections, everything will be secure for their customers data. Okay, and now what happens is, suppose I'm a normal guy who is making a startup, like suppose a Paytm, let's take a Paytm, and they have hosted their every infrastructure into the public cloud. Okay, like website page, login page, those things will be kept in public like AWS or Azure. But what they believe is, they don't believe the security, or they might need more security for transaction purpose, the data, the like secure your username password they want to stay store in the database, right? They are afraid to, like they don't want to put it in public cloud. Instead they have more security, make more secure database set up in their own private setup data center. They will keep a small data center for their requirement, and what they will do, they will keep their all username password databases, right? Your money transaction details, everything secret, those which should not be publicized will be kept in their private data center, and every security will be given to it. But the website is in public cloud and the database is in private cloud. So how to connect it is made by hybrid cloud. So hybrid cloud comes into existence where the front end, what you see, the website will be hosted in Azure and the back end will be set up in the own data center of the company. So that is called as hybrid cloud. Hope you people got to understand, like public cloud, private cloud, and hybrid cloud. Nowadays, as Shruti said, this community cloud came into recent concept where a group of company partners, like they come together, believe that no need of private cloud, no need of public cloud. Let's give it to a third party guy. Like we will all invest to money in setting up a data center. we will take care, like each person will divide few things whatever they want, like some people will take care of technicians, some people will take care of security, some people take care of infrastructure, some other people will give the land for rent. So they together come and build a data center and they will be using based on mutual trust. Still, they will be having their own security. Like it like one organization doesn't can't go and peep into the data of another organization. Those shield security will be given, but they have invested in the single data center and kept a data center. They can also ask the third party people to maintain the data center. Okay, so this is called as community cloud. So this was all about like types of cloud. It's all based on our use cases, like where you want to host, where you want to keep your data. Okay. Now coming to the principles of cloud, there are three things like IaaS, PaaS, SaaS: infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, software as a service. Guys, like what we teach today, right? Make sure you explore more things by going after the session, because most of the time, like recently, like most of the companies will ask based on these topics only. What is difference between private and public? What is difference between IaaS, PaaS? Even if you are studying a cloud computing subject as part of one subject in a semester, right? You will be getting these as a lessons itself, chapters or modules, you can say anything. So that's why we are more concentrating to bring it to as much as you can understand. So here, infrastructure as a service, platform, software. So I will explain again with an example. Look here, on-site means it's a private cloud. Like you have your own company, you have everything set up in your own data center. So what you will be doing, you man, the green, lightish green color is like, this color is you are managing, and the red color is provided by the public providers. Okay. So what you will be doing, application. Here we are speaking about your website, the data, users data, and how it's running, runtime, middleware, the middle components you will be using for hosting your website, and OS on which, like Windows, Ubuntu, whichever you are using, on which virtualization means we don't want to take this here. Virtualization just like having multiple OS on a single hardware. Like one server will be having multiple OS for multiple purpose, right? That is virtualization. And those servers we will be using for hosting, storage, like for keeping the data inside, networking to maintain the security. All these things will be maintained by yourself in the private cloud, and that's why it is called as on-site. Okay, but when it comes to you are planning everything to shift to public cloud, then you have three options in public cloud also, but we will take care of first IaaS, infrastructure as a service. Here, application like our website and data, the customer's data we get through our website or from our website, runtime, how much time it should run, like from night to 24 hours, or it should be in weekends, your about your website or any functions you are using in the website or any application. Middleware, the components you are taking from the cloud to make your website. The OS, it's up to you whether you will choose Windows or Ubuntu to host your website on the server. So these things will be taken care by you, but virtualization, server, storage, networking will be taken care by the public providers, cloud providers. Those are Azure and AWS. So what will be they taking? Suppose you are planning to create a website on Ubuntu and having database backend as MySQL, and it will be hosted for 24 hours. This is the simple website. Okay. What you will do, you will go to the Azure. There you will choose the OS you want. There will be options. You will choose like you will choose Windows, and next you will choose MySQL database. There will be present, and they will also ask like how many, like availability. What should it be, like it should be like 24 hours, or should we shut down it automatically? It will ask. So you will choose it, and server. I mean that's all. You will only choose, and you will take care of what all the components you want. You will set it up, but you never wanted to know like behind how are they giving security, how are they configuring the MySQL, or how they are giving you servers. Those things are not at all taken care by you. They will take it. It's like you are going for a mall and you will take some items, products like some biscuits, but you are not cared about from where these biscuits come from, or what all the things ingredients used to create the biscuit. You just go there, you put it everything into your cart and come out. And while coming, you will pay as much as you have taken the products. Similarly, here also, you will taken care only about your application, but everything behind will be maintained by public providers. Now, there comes a platform as a service. Suppose there are few people. This is for normal setup of companies, but where TAS means they have their website, everything's ready. They have the data, but they don't want to care about virtualization, servers, storage, networking, runtime. Everything should be taken care by um Azure itself, like cloud itself, like whether it will be uptime, everything will be taken care by except this application. They have ready-made website or they want a ready-made website in the cloud. They will make some customization as per their requirement and they will host it. Then comes a platform as a service. Everything will be taken care by them and you will just host the website there. And there comes a software as a service. This thing, everything this will be taken care by them. So what will you be using? You will be using the application. The best example for SaaS is we are using the Gmail, right? We are using Gmail. We are using the direct product. We don't want to know whether where it has been hosted, how many storage they have given for us. Is it available for 24 hours? We don't care anything. We are perfect users for SAS. We will use it whenever we need. We will offer it. That's all. So this is all about infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, and software as a service. Hope people understood this topic. Next, we will go for Azure availability. I know many people like everything is coming in PPT, the practicals. Right after this, we'll show the practicals and then practicals, you will understand it in more clear concept. So here, the right side, if you're able to see, it's been lightish color. So they are giving a geography. Geography is like Earth, I mean, the continents, country, whatever it may be. There are three things like region, availability zones, and availability set. So I can tell it an example. Your website should be hosted in South India data, South India. Your website data center, like having multiple data centers should be either can be in Bangalore and Chennai. The particular data center, suppose you choose Bangalore, the particular data center should be in either in Hesrighatta or JP Nagar. Okay, you can choose like this because, as I said before, you have hosted your website in Bangalore, one of the data center, and suddenly the data center had some earthquake and everything fallen down. But your customers doesn't want to know about, I mean, they don't care. They just want their services, right? So that's why what you will do, you will keep a backup data center in Mumbai. So suppose this Bangalore data center went down due to some natural calamities, the Mumbai will be able to take care of the customers. The website might get slow a little, but still it will be able to accessible for everyone. This is the main major importance of the cloud, because if you had a private cloud, right, you will be having in certain location like Kesarighatta or JP Nagar, or you can have multiple areas, but still you can't guarantee that whole city will get some drone or some flood or some earthquake and suddenly the buildings falls, means it will be a huge risk. That's why people started going towards cloud. And here you can see that regions, like suppose I choose a Bangalore region, sorry, South India region. Inside there will be various availability zones, like one will be in Bangalore, one will be in Chennai. I will choose Bangalore, and inside Bangalore they will be asking you where to keep your data. Like we will choose keep our data in Hesrighatta or keep our data in JP Nagar. So why should we choose this? Because suppose you have the more customers in South India or in India, then you will choose the data center nearer to the India to reduce the time travel. I mean, to when you open the website, it takes the loading time, right? We call it as latency. The amount of time it will take to come back, response you back, going to whatever request will go to the cloud and coming back from the website, right? It need time. That time is called latency. To reduce that latency, we will tend to keep the data centers nearest to the customers. Sometimes we will take care of the uh, price also. Like the 4 GB hard disk in South India is lesser cost than the data center hosted in the website hosted having 4 GB RAM in Euro. It also matters. Okay. So one more thing is, suppose if US, you have US customers, and if you keep the data center or if you host your website in India, it will be huge loss. Like as I said, the time will be taken more. That's why in order to that, you people will be having various options to choose which availability zone you want. Okay, inside availability set will be taken care by cloud people. They will put it as backup in one or two data center. Even one data center falls, they will take one more data center for backup. And if you need more backup, you can go for like hosting your website both in Bangalore and Chennai. This is how the big websites of the big organizations you will be accessing like Google, Gmail, or Azure products, Microsoft products, everything will be hosted. Hope you people understood like what is availability, region, availability zones, availability set. These are important key points you require while we are doing the demo. If you had doubts, you can ask in later at the end of the session. So now we are coming to tell the what our concept of demo will be. We people will be having a account. This is an Azure account. We'll be having an Azure account. Inside, we will be given a subscriptions. As you said, as I said, like you people will be given Azure 100 credits voucher, right? So, like some companies will be giving their own vouchers to their employees for the products, for the using of cloud, right? So that is called a subscription. And once you get the subscription, under the subscription, you will be having resource group. This resource groups are nothing but like a bucket, okay? Like you can think like a shipping cart. What all the materials you want to host your website, like requirement. This first box, some developer is using. Second box, some tester is using to check the product. And third one is given for the customers, like hosting. Okay, so what happens continuously behind there will be some work will be going on by the developers and testers. They can't put the website most of the times down and do maintenance directly. So what they will do, the developer will be having his own resource group. Inside that, he will like for website we need SQL and some server. He will put it in there, and this has no impact for the testers group. Okay, this tester will once the product is ready, he will copy from here. He will take from the developer and he will start checking. He will start testing. It doesn't has impact on either on the developers or product. Once the testing has done, he will push it to the production server. In this production resource group also, this will be hosted to the customers, and these people will be going to do some more upgradation which will not impact the production side. Okay, I mean the customer side. So this is how the uh, account or how you will be utilizing the resources. Here what we will be doing, we will be creating just a normal website and we will be hosting. We will create a resource group, like we will create a resource group for our purpose. We will launch a simple OS like some Windows or Ubuntu, and we will launch a simple HTML page, like one page HTML page in the host, and it will be accessible throughout the cloud. Okay, so this will be the demo for our day today. Let me show. Second. So the first thing you should wait. Let me see if anything is there. No, that's all. First, I will go for Azure portal. So this is Azure portal. If you want to know about availability, right? Availability zone Azure. I just want to show the image. So go to images. It will be like this, guys. They will be having various availability zones in, sorry, regions in various places, and you can choose which one you want. And inside that, they will be having multiple data centers for their backup. So once we come to this Azure portal, right, you have an option of sign in. You can sign in here. As I have already signed in, so I will directly go to the portal. So this is the web page or yeah, web UI of the cloud Azure. And look here, we have the subscription. We have our ambassador account subscription. So under this subscription, we will be having our own restrictions also, like which resources we can use, up to what time we will use. Now, as I said before, like, can you see here? We told that we will create a resource group first. So first, I will create a resource group. Now, create resource. Resource group. Look here. So we have to type resource group, and coming to resource group, we should create one new resource group. Once we come to resource group, we are just creating a platform for our website, everything. Here, they will be asking which subscription we will be using. Right? This is the subscription we will be using. So as we said, we have our ambassador subscription like Visual Studio Enterprise subscription. If you have something else, the list will come here. If you are in a company, the company subscription will come here. After we give voucher, you will get different subscription here. So we'll choose Visual Studio by default. And now if we want, like suppose like we want to create name for the resource group. If you click here, you can understand like what is the name meaning, what are the permissions, policies, everything will be understood here. So resource group, I will give it as my, so no space, resource. I will keep it as simple, my group two. No one, it's fine. This is already existing because I had created previously, right? So we can't create again. Let me see for two. Yes. And now, as I said you in the image, where does your resource group should be present, like where you want to keep your everything set up, where you want to keep it. So region, there are many regions like you can see in Asia, Australia, Southeast Asia. If I choose for India, right? In India, there is a South India, West India, and also Central India. So I will go by default for US, East US. It doesn't have any right now for our website. I will go for next tag. We can give the name for our, like if you have multiple resource group, right? And when you are using it not by web UI, when you are using via script or when you're using via command lines, then you can't go and search the name. So that's why we can give a name and a value for the resource group. Here I'm leaving it blank. Like I can say it as developer, developer, developer platform, developer I will put, and value I will say like for try. Just I'm saying that the developer is doing and it's for trying purpose, and this is how the resource group will be accessed when you're using script. We don't discuss it more here. I will keep it default. No need of these things. Just delete them. I will go and next create. So this is simple, like the resource group has no issue and the region is east. The group is 2 and we have so and so subscription. Now I will click on create. So it will show here. You can see resource group has been created. You can go there or you can pin it. No worries. So here I will be going for group 2. Now this is our platform. As I said, now we came into group 2. It's up to us now. Like no impact on whether the other people are using the cloud. Now we will create our own OS. I mean, we will launch our own OS. There are many other things like tags, events. IAM will be explained tomorrow. Cost analysis will be explained tomorrow. We will go and create a marketplace. Marketplace is where every resources will be given. So here you can choose, like suppose, are you doing your machine learning AI? Guys, this is useful for you people. Suppose you are running some machine learning model, right? If you're running it in your Anaconda or in your laptop local system, having thousands of data sets will cause your system to go down. But that's why this AI machine learning, if you go for machine learning, this resources, you can do the same processes in the cloud and not your system will have no impact. You will just pay for what you use. Analytics, like some websites will be there. You want to do some analysis over it. Blockchain like Bitcoin mining, those things will be done here. Compute, we will be launching the OS, right? That's why we'll be using compute. Container for storage purpose, database will be there. Developers, DevOps, this is for more advanced technology, like you will be connecting it to your website behind me. These are things are backend. Suppose you're working on IoT, you have a IoT device at your home, to make work on it, whatever you do in your local system, right? You can do the same thing on IoT platform in this Azure. uh, like example, biometric system. You have college biometric system or company biometric system. When we give the biometric, automatically it should go and store in the uh, cloud, right? I mean, in the cloud, it will get mark you attendance, right? Those things will be taken care by Internet of Things. It's just an example. Or migration. Migration means suppose you had it till date, you had a private cloud or in your local system and you want to shift it to the Azure. You can't start from scratch, right? You need something that can help you to take it from your local system, make a copy and put it directly into your Azure cloud. So that's why the migration will come into help. Monitoring diagnostic means like how you are using, what are the resources you are using, how much you are using, everything will be taken care. Like suppose you will say that my resource should not exceed so and so rupees per month, or you will that you should give a notification for you. It should warn you that it is exceeding. So those things will be taken care by monitoring. Suppose when your website is going on some work, when you are developing something, the website suddenly get crashed because of the mistake you do. And if you want to go and see troubleshoot it where the mistake is happening, you will go for monitoring this diagnostic purpose. Networking and security again, like the oh, I mean, what is it? Like the data you transfer from your website to the customer or from the customer to your website, the security, we are how to avoid hacking and those things will be taken care by networking and security. SAS, as I said, like you need a ready-made product from the cloud and be hosted for the people. So that's when you use SAS product. Now we will be going for creating a compute. We will choose the compute here and we will be creating virtual machine. In virtual machine, we will be launching OS. This is where in it's a hardware, okay? Like you have system where you have the Windows or Ubuntu. Similarly, in cloud, we have virtual machine in Azure. We call like virtual machine here, instances in AWS, I believe. Uh, I forgot. Fine. In virtual machine, we create. If you want to know more about it, you can click on learn more. You click create. So you want to set up the configuration of your laptop inside the cloud. I'm telling it as much as easy for you. You are setting up your laptop inside the cloud. So what all things you want for your laptop? First, subscription is default. Resource group. Suppose you have multiple resource. Look, I have multiple resource group, but I will be choosing the my group 2 by default. Okay. Now the instance which that the OS which will be hosting in the cloud. Which OS do you want? I will be choosing. I want to keep a name for it, so I will be keeping it as OS Azure OS. I will keep it as Azure OS. Region again, I can choose the region whichever I want, but still I will keep it inside the resource group itself. Azure OS. They are saying it's already present or what? It shows red color. No. Now, coming to availability options, as I said, there are many availability zones. Suppose you want a backup like in Bangalore and Chennai. If you want both Bangalore and Chennai, if you have big product, then you can go for availability zones. And this should be like how many availability zones do you want? Like one or two, where how many places you will keep. I don't want any availability zones. So I will choose it as no infrastructure redundancy because I'm launching a simple website and I'm just for testing purpose. You can go for availability set, like it's more deep. Like availability set means when they have data centers and inside they will be having various virtual machines in, I mean various servers by the Azure. They will make a backup for you. Okay, if you choose availability set inside data centers, again they will start making backup for you. We will not be going for that one. Image. Here image means nothing but your voice. Which voice do you want? Here we kept it as Azure voice. I think it's working. Yeah, it's showing red color. Image, I will be default taking Red Hat. You have Ubuntu if you're using Ubuntu, and you can choose even. Linux, there are various Linux. You can choose cloud native Linux, Debian, Oracle Linux, or you can choose Windows Server, like which version you want, 10, 19, 2016, 12, CentOS, Debian. There are more still, like Windows 10 Pro, like our normal laptop version, Windows. But we will go for simple one, Red Hat. And again, the OS you choose will differ in the cost. Like Windows will be more costlier than Red Hat. So you should be careful while choosing. You can go for cost and billing. It will take a by Aditya, he will tell. Azure Spot instance, you can see here like Spot instance every time you will get some discounts there, but I don't want anything here. Size. Now we want to choose how many GB we want for our laptop configuration inside the cloud. Here again, we will be choosing the default. No, actually in default, they will be having more. You can go here. You can see like they will be having CPUs. Like our CPU is like dual core means two. So I will be using one normal CPU and the storage RAM, sorry, behind default 4 GB storage they will give, and the RAM will be 3.5 for us, and input output is not required. Premium disk supported, suppose you are connecting premium, I will tell later. Cost, like how much cost it will take. Like look this, 3,800 rupees per month. It will cost for you per month. But if you off it, right, you can off it and you can reduce this cost. But this is the rate it will go. Just for OS guys, not extra storage, just for OS purpose. We will be going for the most cheapest one, that is 546 rupees per month. Choose this. I can go for select. So this will come one CPU, 1 GB storage by them is enough for the OS, and I will be paying 546 rupees per month. But you won't be paying guys, like we will be giving voucher, right? It will get traded from it. And here now, how will you log into your Windows in your laptop? You will put username password. At the beginning, you will create, right? Similarly, here you have two options. Like you can create SSH public key or password. We will go for normal password like username and password. SSH public key is useful when you are accessing it with script. As I said to you, most of the time when you are building more and more difficult complex products, you can't come and create here, right? Everything will be written script like a program. And there, if you want you to access or to log in, this will give some encrypted key. You will put it and it will get login. But here we will be doing via normal. So that's why we will keep a username as Azure OS. I'll keep the same thing as the virtual instance so that I can remember well. Password, I will keep it as Azure capital OS. They want big name. Password Azure OS 1, 2, 3. I will write it down one side or else I will forget. You have to confirm it. Azure OS 1. Now we have chosen our OS which we install. We want how many RAM we want, and we have set username password. Now public inbound ports. Here what they are saying is, suppose you have a work own company and only those people inside the company should use, then you can go for only selected ports. But here I want it to be public, so I will be going for HTTP. Difference between HTTP and HTTPS is like the HTTP is lesser secure compared to HTTPS. So they are saying that this will allow all IP address to access. Suppose even you can access our whatever we launch here, you can also access. So that will be given by the HTTP. Now licensing, I don't want to see this. Now behind I want to give some for my laptop. I need hard disk, right? I'm choosing hard disk. Do you want SSD? Because SSD is very much faster than hard disk. I say I don't want. I will go for normal standard HDD. HDD is hard disk drive. Now, so they are saying that if you choose HDD, we can give only 99% assurity. No, sorry. For premium, they give 99%. For normal hard disk access, they will give like 98% or 97%. Encryption key, I will leave it as default. Now we want to attach a disk. That's what like storage disk, right? By default, they will ask you, do you want 1024 GB? That's 1 TB. I say I don't want. I will go for normal empty disk change size. I will go for normal 4 GB one and I will click OK. So it has been changed. Source type, storage block. I don't want anything to be here. It depends on like advanced thing. Encryption type, I will leave it as it is and I will create OK. Now they are saying that you will be having 4 GB. Again, it's become premium size. I'm just checking if possible to change even the premium also. Standard HDD. Just for this purpose, I will go for this premium HDD itself. But if you're keeping it for long term, right, you should take care of the pricing billing of those things. For demo, I will choose normal one, 4 GB. You can go for advanced, like how you want to manage these things, not required. Now you have your hard disk, you have your RAM, you have your username, password, and your voice. But you should also ensure that whether it will be accessible for your friend, can he come via his laptop to your laptop or not, or networking. If you are accessing the Google, should it allow Google those things? So those things will be taken care by networking. Here, virtual networks, subnet, Aditya will explain. Public IP, I will leave it as default. This also security group. This is like simple configurations. I will leave everything as default because I don't want to make more complex. Public inbound. Inbound means the network you will get. Okay, like if someone can access your website when it is hosted on this server, you will say allow, and who can allow via HTTP or SSH. They are asking, should we keep under behind load balancing? About load balancing and practical of a load balancing, we'll explain tomorrow. It's a beautiful concept. That's the main thing will be helpful for your project also if you create what we explain here. Now management, we don't want to do anything. They're asking here, do you want this system to get automatic shutdown by 7 p.m. evening as per universal time? If you want to go for IST, Chennai, IST 5:30. We can go as per our requirement. I'm seeing just India. Dhaka, Beijing, Brisbane. 5:30 is our India, but it has not given. So yeah, here I'm choosing as per Indian Standard Time, 7 p.m. This server should get automatic off. If I don't want, I can close it. If I want, I can put it down. And it will email also. It will give a notification. Whom should I give? To my mail ID or whose mail ID it should give? Or should I should you create a backup? Because sometimes you will be working on your left as it is, and it will automatically make a backup of it. And default, I don't want to keep it as shutdown. I will make it manual. Now I will go for advanced. Now they're asking, what should it do after you start? Like once you log in and do right, you have some purpose why you purchase this configuration in the cloud. So what I will do, instead of going directly and doing later, I will write few comments. Like I will write a script slash slash. So I'm just installing few software, so it should be ready when it gets launched. System CTL enable. Don't know, space, I think. So what I'm doing is very simple. Like suppose if you have done DBMS project, you will be getting to know that once you have a laptop, you will launch the server, right? You will have XAMPP server. You will launch the server. Here we will be using Apache server, and indirectly it's by HTTPD. So what yum install? This is a bash script. Yum install is a for Red Hat. We use yum for installation purpose. And here systemctl enable. I'm installing this and I'm enabling it throughout the OS. Whenever it is launched, it should be on always. So I have wrote the custom. If even if I have not written here, once the OS has been launched, I can go and do that, but I want it here itself. It would be better. User data, host group. I don't want these things. Generation, I will leave it as it is. Next, I'll go for tag. Again, I don't want any tag here. Now I can see what all the things I have given here. Text. So it's showing me it per hour. It will cost me 0.70 rupees. That's 70 paisa. 74 paisa 90 something. 74 paisa will be charged per hour. Think how efficient it is for us whenever you're doing projects, and right, you can go for these things. So it will show you in detail what all the configurations you have. Also, you have a download a template. Suppose next time you can't come again and again do these things, right? So you will be writing a script. So that's why you can download a template. And if you take this template and put it in some your friend's Azure cloud, right? If you put that, it has an option. Automatically, it will launch all this configuration in your system. So that's the specialty. That's the beauty thing of the cloud. I'm clicking on create cloud. So it will show here initialization, submitting deployment. It takes time. I don't know how much time it takes. Yes, this is how it comes. So it will show deployment is in progress. It will start deploying, and here everything like the dependencies of the OS, everything will be started deploying here. Look, you can see the IP address by default they have configured network security group, NSG, virtual net, Azure OS database. The we choose the storage, right? Azure OS 97. They have given some interface name for our network, and this is our main Azure OS. Once this is finished, we will be ready to go and use it. If anyone is having doubt, you can ask till here because the deployment takes around 2 to 3 minutes more. Is anyone having doubt regarding till here what we did? Any doubts, you can put it up in chat box. Okay, it has been muted.
Hello, Deepak.
Yeah, Aditya.
Uh, is it deploy?
Yeah,
It's
deployment
deployed.
is complete. So what we will do, the deployment is successful. There is no issue. If the issue had come, it will show here. So what I will do, I will go to resource back to resource, my Azure OS, and I can see all the configurations here. And here, my group 2, its public address. I don't want this one. I need my OS. Yes, here it is my OS. So my OS virtual machine has the Azure name OS. It has Linux, Red Hat. Uh, it has the public address. I need it. So let me go directly to Azure Voice first. I will go to home. You can go to home directly and you will see that resource Azure Voice. And if you come once inside Azure Voice, it has already started. That's why it's showing default shady. And here we can stop here. We can restart here. If you want, you can delete here. If you want refresh, you have an option of opening it in mobile also. So Azure has given recent mobile app, and then you can there you can configure or you can maintain like how much what's happening via your mobile also. So here public IP address, make sure DNS not configured. Let me try if you want. No need now, because as plan, let's go as per plan. DNS is nothing but you use www.google.com, right? Suddenly the Google will go to, I mean, you search Facebook or some LinkedIn, okay? It will directly go to this DNS. It will ask, this guy has given some name. I want its IP address so that I can go to that IP address. Behind there is the IP address. We humans can't remember every IP address. That's why they have given a name for it. And if I want some name for my website, right, I can configure this DNS. And if I give the same name to you, you can access it more easily than giving the public IP address. I will copy the public IP address. So what I will do, I will access via my command prompt. I will open my command prompt. SSH -L. Now we have to put the username Azure OS. And next I have to put IP address of it. So I will right click and it will get automatic paste. I will enter on it. It will ask for the first time. Are you sure you want to continue connecting? I will type it as yes. It will show warning that anyone can access yours if you do like this. I will say I need to put password. I'll give password. I'm entering. Now I have been enabled. Now I am inside the Azure OS. OK, I'm not in my command prompt. I'm accessing the Azure portal via my command prompt. Here I can ask who am I? It will say that I'm Azure OS the guy user. OK, now if I want to configure, guys, always remember when you are going into Linux and when you are configuring, most of the time you should be a owner. I mean, you should be in a root account, not in user account. OK, so what I will do, I will do sudo su space minus I'm shifting it to root. Now I'm in root. So if I say who am I, it will show root. So now I can configure whatever I need. So what I will do first, I want to enable the HTTP, because you might remember that we have given once any HTTP people can access us, right? So now we will be giving the access. First we will check firewall. Guys, most of the time you don't need to remember. You need to remember basic tools and basic commands what it comes, but it's not always you need to remember everything, because Azure has their like every cloud will be having their own documentation. If you give -h, right, they will start showing. Let me try if it happens here. Yes. Now I can choose whichever, like what I want to do. Should I command line whitelist? Suppose I have block list few HTTP, right? Few people, few IP addresses who can access my OS. I can whitelist them. I can remove, I can query. Panic option, suppose something happened, we have this option. Lockdown, we don't use these things. Yeah, I can understand what are the rules put it on this OS. And there are more things I'm not planning these things. Let me see which I want to do. List services. OK, look, there are many. I want to know list sources, because I wanted to know who can access, how can they access mine, right? So I will copy this. Let me see if this copied or not. They have so many options. You can go and explore each and everything. That's why we don't want to remember the command at all. Control C will come out of the documentation. If you click the upper arrow key, the previous command which you had typed will come there. I will use. Let me see if I have copied or not. Yes, it has been copied. So minus list sources. If I enter, so there is nothing here. OK, we don't have services. It will show that Currently only SSH you can access only via SSH. Now I logged in via SSH. You can see, right? That's what only we can access via SSH. Now I want to give the access of this OS, whatever I'm hosting here, should be available via HTTP to everyone. So what I will do, I will do the same command. HTTP. I'm giving access to HTTP, and here I'm just adding the new resource. It's showing success. So how will I check? I will go to the previous command and I will enter, and it will show HTTP CSS done. So now our IP address is accessible everywhere. Now what we have to do, we will create an HTML page inside the OS. So when you have exam servers, right, or WAMP server, you will go to their folder. You will be having some www or htdocs. docs. If you remember, there inside you will create an HTML page. There you will host. Similarly here also, I will go cd is the command used to go from one folder to another folder. So cd. Now I want to go slash. Slash means it's starting right from the root. Where where is the one folder, and inside that folder, similar like your XAMPP and WAMP, which has www http. Similarly, even in Apache server also they have www folder. I'm going inside the www folder, and later I want to go inside the HTML place. Where HTML? I believe this is the place. Let me see if I can go or not. Yes, I went inside the HTML page. ls is the command used for listing if there is any file. If you want to check, what you will do, you will just go to that folder and you will double click and it will show the list of folder files present in, right? Similarly, if I want to see what are the files present in the HTML or the folders present, I can click on ls. If it shows blank, that means there is nothing. So what I will do, I will create a file. So I will use nano editor here. You use notepad, right? In Ubuntu we have Gedit. Here I'm using nano editor. In nano editor, it will automatically create. Okay, nano, I will create the index dot html. Okay, I am creating a normal file with a dot html extension, so it will understand that's a HTML page. It will get inside, it will create a file, it will get inside. Now I will type here b body. I will be putting simple equals to what color I want my web page should be, yellow color. And what should be the name, like something welcome message. I will say hello world. Okay, no need this one. World. I will end this header. If you don't know this one, go through the W3 school. You will be getting the ready command. Like suppose you want go to just HTML, you want some H heading command. Heading. You just go like this. You have code here, like this different option. You have code here. So what I will do, I will copy this H2. I will go here. I will right click. It will automatically paste. Heading to a scrim. I will say welcome to Azure. And do like it's a normal HTML page. You can do whatever you want. I want to end it. Body. I'm ending the body. Now everything is fine for me. If you want link, you can put link, everything you can do. Control S for saving, Control X for coming out. Do you want to see what is there inside the file? Type cat command. If you are in third semester or some semester, you will be having a unique subject. Make sure you get through it, understand the concept, how the commands work. You can easily pass the exam. Index dot. I can click tab. It will automatically show if the file is present. I can see now. I have given this is the content. Now everything is set for this hosting. Let me go to back to my portal. I will copy this public address. I will paste. Yes, here it is. So this is how I have hosted my normal HTML page website in the cloud. And this is how I explore. Now we can go and explore more things on how all configuration like OS is. We can do a lot of things in OS, but this is the most basic thing I have shown to you. So it has been displayed. So you can see this, the OS. Now what happens is now everything is fine. Everything is going on well. I will try to configure. Let me try it out once. Now they're asking, should my IP address should be static or dynamic? What happens is once you switch off the OS, right, the IP address assigned to your OS will get vanished. That means it get reset. So when you're on next time, it will show new IP address. But suppose you have configured this DNS, right? So it should have a static because it should always be the same. If I click on static, and if I put 52, this IP address won't change now. I can put label name like Azure OS. This, if they have taken this name, then we can't do anything. East, they are giving a look. Can you see right side East US Cloud App Azure.com? I'm doing this first time, so let me see. Idle timeout. What is it? Idle timeout. Keep a TCP/IP connection open without relying on clients to send. Keep a message. Keep it at 1 minute. Suppose someone has came to website and is still idle. Okay, here 4 minutes has been increased. I will save it. So the IP address is getting saved and a DNS name is started coming, and they had told that they need some, the OS gets reboot. Let me see once. I will go back to Azure OS. I can refresh. They had asked me that it will get reboot. Let me see if this works. I don't believe this should work. Or if I refresh, I don't believe it should come back. Okay, I got it. That's good. Suppose, so look here. Now we got it. You can also, now you can take this. I will give it in. I believe it should work for you. I'm giving a link. Just click it, click it. If you are in laptop, you can click on it, or you can just try it. Let me see cognitive tab once. Yes, I'm getting. So can you see that I have hosted and I can give this to anyone around the world and it will be unique for me. How it will be unique? Can you see this OS name? We kept it unique. They told this should be unique always. Now, East US, in our region, this OS name is unique, and Cloud App Azure is related to Azure. So no one kept now no one can keep Azure OS as their OS name. They should change something, or they should go for other regions. So this is how it becomes a unique DNS. Now, suppose what happens is like if I off this uh, OS and come back tomorrow and on the OS, and if I click this link, this will not work. Why? Because every time this HTTP connection, what I did the previous, let me show this connection, what I did, right? This is not permanent. This is just temporary until the OS is on. So what I will do, I will put minus minus permanent and click. It will become success. Now, if I come tomorrow also, this OS will work for sure. So what I will do now, since I have done my work, everything I have showed you demo, I will be stopping it. They have told that public IP address will be lost if this VM is stopped. I am saying that, do you want to reserve? Yes, I'm clicking. I don't want it to vanish. Okay. Do you want to stop as OS? If you had created DNS server, there also they showed the same thing, but that's for like Google, Google has various websites in various countries. You don't know which IP address is going, right? Similarly, though the IP address changes time to time behind. So here I'm saving the IP address also. I'm saying, do you want to reserve IP? Yes, click on OK. Now I'm stopping it. Aditya. So this
Hello,
was
Deepak.
all about, yeah. this was all about my demo of hosting the website. Now there is a few concept which will be told by Aditya. Uh, Over to Aditya. I will enter screen.
Yes, Deepak. Is my screen visible, right?
Yes, now it's visible.
So, guys, we'll as Deepak and Shruti covered most of the concept for about what's basics of cloud and what's virtual machine and how to launch and how you can set a basic website in that. So for any website, there will be a front end and a back end and a middleware technology. So we'll be seeing a basic of what a back end technology is. So back end is mainly about a database. So a database means if people like if your students in second semester, second year or third year, like I think in third year there is a subject called a database. Apart from that, also we can explore resources and we can study about it. Database comes with a two-way database. So one is of SQL and other one is of a NoSQL. And apart from this, there are various other databases also. So people who know database just can revise from whatever I'm saying. So if you don't know, just you need to concentrate some bit of over here. So SQL database, it consists of a database. Inside that, which whatever we need to create a table first, and after the table we need to insert data inside that by creating tables. Like there will be many kind of relations like primary key, foreign key, and providing integral relations between that. So if you want to link from one table to other table, then you have to use a concept of foreign key. So this was the importance about SQL. So as and when data got increased and more amount of tables got generated, there was an option where we can't go with SQL. SQL has its own use cases, but for the upgraded data upgradation and various other things, we need to move on for other kind of a databases. So other kind of a databases can be NoSQL, where table is modified by document, and inside that we'll be storing data in, data inside that we'll be storing entire data inside that document. So when we go with SQL and NoSQL, everything has its own use cases. So when we take SQL, MySQL is the one, and Oracle DB are the one which comes under that bracket. And when we go with NoSQL, there is top leading is MongoDB. So that's one of the thing. I'll be showing one of the projects which we recently built for that. And apart from NoSQL, there's a graph database. Like if you go to the Facebook and other kind of a social media, LinkedIn networks. So there will you can see how when you go into any of your friend or any kind of a connection profile, you will be recommended with other related people who you need to follow. You need to send a friend request. So this is where a graphical database comes into picture. One of the example is Neo4j is one of the topmost graphical graph kind of a database. And one more thing, one more database like a caching database is called as a Redis database. So when cache is a mechanism which used to reduce the latency time from fetching your data from database to your web browser or the any website which you're accessing. So the is one of kind of a database like Redis is a database which reduces latency time. So there's much more concept that you need to explore or we can go on, but we'll be confining over to this. I think SQL and NoSQL you would have got a brief idea about it. So I'll be showing how you can create a basic SQL like a database for your website. If you need to integrate like what Deepak showed you the HTML website, so you could take some input and that you could store in your backend Azure SQL database. In Azure, it's called as an Azure SQL. So if you go for other cloud providers like Amazon, it's called as an RDS, relation database service. So depends upon different kind of cloud service providers. Names gonna vary, but the underlying concept will be the same. So once now we'll start how to build SQL database. So before that, I told you like this. 1 minute, guys. So this was the thing. It's coming from our database, like we built it for some of our program, Google Cloud program. It was also a cloud program. So whatever the data which you are seeing over here, it's all the data which are coming from database which is hosted using MongoDB, and MongoDB Atlas, we use that, and it's also a cloud provider. Nowadays database not only used for collecting data or processing data or getting insights about it. We can do much more from that. Like MongoDB, I think recently has done many features, like we can generate infographics from it, we can use for dashboards and various other things. So like this, all the things are stored in our database, and it's in real time. If you type anything over here, it goes, it's our website and gets retrieved from our database. So like this, you can also use Azure front end and back end. You can build something like this. Once after this workshop, you'll be having an idea how you can build. For this, you need to use any kind of a programming language for um, sending data into backend and fetching it. So let's see, we'll be giving some MLSA workshop this weekend. So once you have done, you could see over here, it's in real time, it gets you could see over here, in real time it gets fetched from the database. So this is what like we'll be doing it. So once like now we'll be seeing what Azure SQL. You can go type over here as Azure SQL, or these are the some of the recent used services which you will be used. At first you will be not be having this, so go type Azure SQL over here. So once Azure SQL is over here, initially you will be not be having, you will be having empty, because we have tried this once. So you can just create a new one. Just tap on the create button. There are a couple of things over here you need to see, like SQL virtual machine, like what Deepak showed you. Like for everything you need a basic is a virtual machine. Without virtual machine or the OS, you can't do anything. That's a basic underline of all the things on top of it you will build. So if you will launch an SQL database, Azure on behalf of you will launch an virtual machine where you need not to take care of that virtual machine. Only you need to take care is database. The thing which you need is you need to create a database. What all the configurations you need to do, you have to do with that SQL database. Apart from that, you no need to do anything related to server, virtual machine, network security groups, anything. Everything will be managed by Azure. That's the beauty of a cloud. If you can take any cloud for that. So we'll be setting up a SQL database. So tap on create, and as Deepak would have explained, what is resource group. So I've already got a one resource group for testing purpose, so I'll be using that. If you don't have, you can go and create one over here. So let's give the database as a Azure workshop. And initially you will be not be having any servers, as I had created a couple of servers for my other things also. So go tap on create new. So you can give a server name. Let's say I will be giving my name. I don't think it will take. So you can give any name. uh, 1 minute guys. Sorry for that guys. So you will be giving a name and a server admin login. Server admin login, you can use any name whichever you wish. So default names like admin is not allowed, because if you have an idea of a databases, admin is the one who is the default thing, and couple of other databases will become inbuilt with the configuration. So admin is not allowed. You can use admin one. So it would be agreed to give your name of that. So password, I'll be giving a password. You can give your own password by taking care of all these conditions should be present in. You should maintain all the passwords criteria. So once you have done, your server gets created. Just tap on OK. So this is the server which you have got, and what is you want to use an SQL Elastic Pool? It's prompting us. So what's an SQL Elastic Pool? SQL Elastic Pool is one thing like whenever your database or something goes viral, your website or your database gets more amount of walk-in. So during that time, your SQL should automatically scale or it should stop. Like we will be seeing some of the database, some of the websites going crashed because of any kind of many issues there will be there. So one of the reason can be a backend goes down. So in that scenario we can use an SQL Elastic Pool. So right now we don't need. So we need to configure a database. Tap on this blue color link. So there are two concepts of serverless and provision. Right now a basic thing you need to know about serverless is uh, you will be not be provided with a server at every time, but you will be prompted, you will be provided with only server whenever your customer or any of the user it's in. That's where what's about serverless as a whole a brief, but there are much in-depth concepts and it's one of the interesting thing we need to learn about it. Provisioned is every time, like if you have allocated 10 GB of memory to your database, every time, every second you will be allocated with 10 GB. There is no increase or decrease. Whenever the customers goes above the threshold or below the threshold, you will be provided with only fixed amount of stipulated storage. You will be not be upscaling or downscaling it. So this is a brief summary of what you will be charging. I think once you get your voucher, you will be not be charged because you will be having enough amount of credits, so you can practice. So right now it's given a 32 GB for me, only 2 GB because of testing purpose. And would you like to database zone reductant? A zone reductant means you will be placing your database only in one zone. Right now we'll leave those settings as a default, and these topmost you could see a gray color is like you could see the throughput, latency. These things matters when you're building a business scale application, so you can switch according to that. Right now we'll just do some changes and click on apply. So this is what storage reductancy, I don't think so we'll need to give importance to it. And networking is like as Deepak said, if anyone in this world need to connect, most often we don't provide a public endpoint to our database, because database is the critical thing for any business or any organization. If it gets hacked or something goes wrong, everything goes into jeopardize. So we'll not provide public endpoint. So right now we'll be testing it. So nothing much matters for us. So we'll be providing a public endpoint and allow Azure service and resources to access the server. Right now, I don't need. If any kind of a use case comes, we can add it. And current IP address. Why we need to add this current IP address? Because you need to access the database. Only you currently. The system will be knowing who is accessing and who is creating. So you have to provide current IP address as yes. If not, you may not be able to connect to your database in next steps. So security, right now this is an additional firewall security, like which comes for even our system, like we'll be using a firewall so that um, only allowed connections get into our system. So right now, not now, we don't need that kind of a security. We'll go with the sample. Backup is one, like what every day you will be generating lots of amount of data. Whenever you need to keep a backup of that kind of database or that kind of setup you can do for that. So tags, why tags are so important? Because like in real world you will not be using cloud as front, not from as a web perspective. Like Azure cloud, whatever you're seeing, this is a graphical UI. Most often we don't use either. We used a CLI version or a cloud shell or infrastructure provisions. So if you know anything about like infrastructure provisions like Ansible or Terraform, we'll be running all our infrastructure by code, writing code from there. Will not be coming over here. In that case, the code should be knowing what all that tags. So I don't think so we'll be 1 minute, guys. I don't think so. Always we'll be doing everything from your portal. So we need these tags for that name. So we'll be giving test workshop. So next is the final step. Like it will be showing that 16,000 something INR will be charged for you. So don't worry about it. So this all the things which we have, like you can review it. If anything you need to go change over there, and you can hit the previous button and do it. Like this is what I was saying. Download a template of for automation. This the JSON syntax for, in this, like whatever things which we have done graphically, everything is converted into simple code which you can run manually from your command prompt, like any of the Windows command prompt. But on top of that, you need to install Azure CLI or any of the infrastructure provisions like Terraform. You can provide this code to that. Everything will be managed on behalf of you just with some simple codes. So right now we don't need this. Oh, man. Mm, Sorry guys, 1 minute. I'll do it from first. So these all things already explained. So just so this where we were. So you can create a template if you wish. Otherwise, you can create whatever things which we have done. So hit on that create button, and it will start your initialization deployment. So you have to wait for some time. So once our deployment is complete, we'll be able to see our deployed model over here, like a database. It takes hello Deepak.
Yeah, tell me.
Within that time, anything you have to say or something like that, because it takes some amount of
Yes, look, guys, today what we are doing, we will plan to give the video today itself. If not, we'll be issuing tomorrow. Aditya, in that Google, I mean, in the Google form, just ask for a separate section called doubts. If they have doubts after doing today's practicals, or
Okay, okay, okay.
they will add. Okay,
Yeah.
and coming to this one, guys, tomorrow, to important thing we will be explaining on few more concepts, and at the end, we will be telling you how to start learning Azure from scratch. Because you will be having subscription, you will be having for a certain time, and you will be having it to use, right? So we will be sharing how to start, and there are few Azure certifications to do, and we will guide you on how to crack those certifications also. So make sure that you will be present tomorrow also. Meanwhile, do you have any doubts? You can feel free to ask now. If you have any doubts, feel free to ask in chat box or you can unmute yourself. We'll be happy to listen. Anyone? No doubts? Aditya, you have muted, I believe, this meeting chat.
No, it's on only.
Mm, okay.
It's on
So,
only.
guys, fine. If any doubts is the guys, do ask us. Because it takes 2 or more minutes, as I said. Not even a single doubt, guys. Oh my God. We have few more things to tell, but we don't want to extend today itself because everything on one day won't be good. We will be taking those things tomorrow. As I said, we will be giving the from basic, like you can refer this video once again by reading the documentation and you can sync it together. In one day, you can't learn cloud computing, but still we can just start it. Okay, you will soon get to know about it. That's why we recommend you guys just today ensure you go through a few basic documentations of Azure, like what is availability zone, what are types of clouds, what is IaaS, PaaS, SES. Just go through them and what is virtual machine, what is virtualization, what is OS. If you have doubts, just bring them to tomorrow, and we will be help you. We will be helping you to clarify them.
Uh, Deepak is replied. I'll continue.
Fine, yeah.
As you can see, guys, it's deployed is complete. So tap on the go to resource button. So there are a lot of options you will be looking for the first time over here. So as we selected no elastic pool, it's no elastic, and server name is whatever the thing which you would have given. As you know, we created a new server in the name of MLS Workshop. So resource group is what which I had created earlier. I've kept this SQL in MySQL database inside that. So this is the storage space, and whenever the compute utilization, it will show you infographics like at what time, at what particular day your website got more amount of walk-ins. So you could analyze and scale according to that, and a couple of other concepts over here. Right now, this will not be covering. Like geo replication is the one thing. Like this, I will give a brief overview of this. Geo replication is one, like you will be having a two databases simultaneously, same database, but whatever thing you will be giving to one database, same amount gets replicated in the other region or other AZ, with because whenever something goes wrong, the first database would goes wrong, but second database automatically can be connected to your website, so that there will be no latency or no mismatch with there are many concepts in database like asset characters and many things, these things which we need to keep in mind. So whenever that hazardous things happen to our database, so geo replication plays a vital role in that. So these things, if we need, you can go through while exploring more about Azure. So one thing we can how we can confirm whether this database is working or not. So here's one, like query editor. This is a basic thing which will be you can use for uh, what you have created. For that you can use. So give your password and just log in over there. So there are dummy tables which would have given default, like to testing purpose. So I said earlier there are much concepts like views, triggers, stored procedures, tables, DTOs, and many other things. So if you go through any of the database, you will get some no concepts about it. So I will be creating a basic table name workshop. This is the syntax we should be knowing while dealing with SQL table. So this is the basic thing, like create table, and what are the table name you can give over here, and like let's say attendees for today, attendance. So it would be in number. So integer, and feedback will be a string character. So these are basic table syntax. There will be a couple of other concepts like primary key, referential integrity, foreign key, candidate key, everything. But for just keeping it simple, so we have created a basic table and just hit run button. So so let's take only attendance as an integer. So table, basic table has been created. So you need to insert data into it. Uh, this is also a basic query, insert whatever things which we have done. So right now I created a table and inserted a value like attendance was a single person attended this workshop, and so to see whatever things are present in the database, you can use select query. So you could see whatever we have given with the table name and a number of things which we have given. This is what you can create a database. So one more thing, like I think you would have understand overview about creating database and how to access it. So most probably we'll not be using directly database in real life. So you'll provide concepts like connection strings. We'll be using it JDBC, Java driver, database connection, ODBC and PHP and Go, and a couple of other language, Python, Node.js, everything we will get. Like this the basic thing which whenever you need to connect to any of the database, you need to add this code over there, and you need to write on top of it, you need to write any of the logic which you need to build. So this is connection strings you have to use, and one of the important concept is logs. Logs can be like whenever your database are very critical, so by miss if any of your administrator or any of anything happens, it gets deleted. So we need to make sure that if it's critical business development database you'll be having, so you can set this database as not deletable. So important, let's give us an important. So log type will be delete. Whenever you give set a log type for this and you tap on OK, so a new generated log gets generated for it. So these all the things like if you go in deep for security, and we'll be seeing like alerts, metrics, like what all the things and how at what time your database gets more traffic. So that kind of things, logs and all. So we'll not be diving in much into that. We'll be giving we'll be seeing into logs. So we have created a log, and let's say now we want by miss we need to delete this database. So come over here, you delete it, tap on yes. So in this now we'll delete it. So you could see over here, it's showing failed to delete database because we have added a lock. Please remove the lock and try again, so that we have protected our database from mistakenly deleting or doing any kind of a thing if it goes wrong. So we now we'll see the live implication when we remove this lock. Or see, we have removed, we have just put a lock for read only. So if we go and delete it now, it will delete. One minute, guys, I need to remove that lock. Why it's not getting removed? Yeah, see, you can delete that as I did right now. So once you have deleted that lock, so there is no lock or there is no protection for your database. Now you click on delete button. So if you give your name and delete, so now delete initiation has been started. So now there is no protection, and your database, if anything goes wrong, it automatically gets deleted. So this was about logs. I think that's all from my side for today, Deepak. It's covered, right?
Yes, yes, everything is fine. So that's all, guys, from our side today. We have few amazing topics for you tomorrow, and also will help you out to start your Azure journey and how to get certified. Yeah, I and Aditya both are